Shante Smith, owner and CEO of the SOS Publicity Firm. And just like most women out there, I love men.
Vivica Fox, star of film, stage, a producer. Yeah. You do everything. I'm so glad you had enough time to talk with us on Uptown, Downtown.
Thank you so much for having me today. I appreciate the support.
Oh, and you look fantastic. I mean, more gorgeous than on screen, in person, just a sight.
I'm happy to hear you say that, because I tell you the funniest thing, that when people see me in person, that's kind of one of the things, you're smaller. And then they go, and you're good looking too. And I'm like, okay, well, what have I been looking like on TV these past 20 years, you know? But it's a compliment, you know. I take it, I really do. Thank you.
Well, I'm glad that you're in D.C.
Yes.
You came into town to do a stage play, which is a version of the original film, Two Can Play That Game.
Yes.
Which is one of my favorites.
Thank you.
But first of all, tell us about the play itself.
Jakarius Johnson presents Two Can Play That Game. The stage play is going to be at the Warner Theater this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And like you said, I did Two Can Play That Game, the movie, over 15 years ago.
Has it been that
Yes. Went by that quick, you know, so I'm so glad I'm keeping it tight and right. So, so we can still do the stage play. But when Jakarius Johnson approached me about doing this, at first I was like, wow, a stage play? How are we going to do that? Well, he got with the director, who was also the writer of the original movie, Mark Brown. And Mark said, absolutely, but I only will do that if you get Vivica. So Jakarius and I, we went out to lunch. And of course, I'm not going to let nobody else play Shantae, okay? But I've got a cast that's all fresh, all new. In the original movie, I had Morris Chestnut, Anthony Anderson, Wendy Raquel Robinson, Bobby Brown, Monique, Tamala Jones, Gabrielle Union.
All-star
Yes,
cast.
I had an all-star cast. And back then, 15 years ago, to see this romantic comedy that was led by an all-African-American cast, and especially an African-American female, was groundbreaking. I mean, it led for a lot of copycats. I'll never forget seeing How to Make Your Man Behave in 10 Days, and then other movies that we inspired. So I was flattered by that.
Yeah.
And every day I'm getting tweets, Instagram things. Two Can Play That Game is on. Like, the movie has literally become a cult classic. So what we did is that we made sure that we kept about 75 to 80% of the original theme for the stage play, but we introduced some new characters. Two Can Play That Game, the stage play, has Carl Payne, Gary Jordan, Andre Fuller, Portia Williams is playing a very funny Connie, Brayley Evans, Vivian Green is just singing amazing. And then I brought a little bit of Vivica's Black Magic, and I brought one of my dancers, who is also an actor by the name of Mike Strong. And we've been having a great time. I've been on the road now for about 6 weeks, and D.C. and Houston will be our last 2 stops for the year.
Oh, so we're honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, you know, you've done film, you've done stage, and you've done television. There's all different styles of acting.
Yes.
Tell us, or are they different? Tell us about that.
Well,
acting on the stage, the same film?
Acting on stage versus the movies is completely different, to be very honest with you. Of course, you're acting, but when it's on the stage, it is live. So if stuff goes wrong, I can't tell you, a couple of times, you just got to embrace it, talk to the audience. I think the audience actually appreciates it when you admit, okay, y'all, such and such mic ain't working, and we gonna get this scene right. Or if something doesn't go right. And they love to see you start over and embrace that. Whereas when you're on a movie, you know, you do it 10 times, 15 times, and you film it over the process of a couple of months. And then they edit together and make it and fix it and make it pretty. Well, this is raw when it's on the stage. But I love it. I love that instant and that instant interaction with the audience and the energy that you get back. You know whether or not it works or it doesn't work quickly.
Now, was this the first time for you doing stage work?
No, this is actually the 3rd time that I've done a production with Jakarius Johnson. And the reason why I like working with Jakarius is that I also get to co-produce it. He knows that, you know, with it having my name, that we get wonderful exposure, we get wonderful cast. And then he knows me, I'm going to nitpick it, because I'm just that type. I mean, if I do something that has the Vivica Fox brand on it, I want to make sure that when the audience comes to see it, they know there's going to be great quality, there's going to be humor, there's going to be drama, there's going to be wonderful messages, there's going to be wonderful outfits. Everybody wanted to walk down, they said, Vivica, them shoes, girl, them shoes. So, you know the whole product is going to be presented lovely. So this is my 3rd time. 3rd time's the charm.
Now, you produce as well.
Yes.
Which is interesting. And you produce something, Black Magic, you just mentioned it.
Vivica's Black Magic,
Yeah.
yes, I did on the Lifetime Network.
Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, unfortunately, we got canceled, which was a bummer because we were trending every week, and to be honest with you, I really didn't get why we got canceled. But, you know, things happen like that sometimes they decide to go a different direction. But Vivica's Black Magic is where I took 8 male exotic dancers on the journey of getting them a residency in Las Vegas. And baby, when I'm telling you, them boys with some divas. But I'm trying to rebrand the show, and so now what we're doing is a lot of the live shows called Vivica Fox Presents an Explicit Minds Experience. They performed at my birthday party in Jamaica. They've been to Bahamas, Philadelphia. We're going to work out something in Washington. So I'm still, I guess I could say in the stripper business. But don't forget, I played a stripper in Independence Day, which went on to gross close to $1 billion worldwide 20 years ago.
One of my favorite movies.
Yeah, and right now it's like, you know, you go to Vegas and you've got Thunder from Down Under, Chippendales, and that's where I got inspired because I did Sharknado with Ian Ziering. And I went to see his show in Las Vegas. And I was like, how many of these do you guys do? And then when we were doing Vivica's Black Magic, I got to meet the gentleman from Down Under, which he told me they've got an international, domestic tour, and they've got a residency in Las Vegas. They're booked year round.
Amazing.
And I was like, okay, well, let me get a piece of that pie, you
Let
know?
me get some of this, yes.
So being a smart businesswoman, but I would love to rebrand the show and get it back on television because, you know, I'm gonna be very honest with you. People see me now and they're like, girl, it is so good to see you. How you been? Where them boys at? So, you know, they left their mark. That's why I was really grateful that Jakarius trusted me when I decided to cast Mike Strong, and he was known as Prophet the Problem on Vivica's Black Magic. And he's also an actor that I was able to give him an opportunity to go to another level of his career and get him off of that circuit and also show him what it's like to brand yourself, to go to a different chapter. And he's done a wonderful job. He's charming, and the ladies have just loved him.
Now, earlier you mentioned Independence Day.
Yes.
Which I have to say was one of my favorite movies, but I had a crush on you when you played that role in Independence. Was
it the red G-string?
Yeah. See, I wasn't gonna say anything.
I made you blush. I love it. But, you know, I also saved the dog, the first lady, and the kids, so, you know.
And you came back for the sequel.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you in the sequel, we really missed Will.
Yeah.
We really did. But, you know, he had moved on and he was doing another film. But we definitely missed his presence because I really felt that when we did the first original Independence Day that people didn't even realize that an African-American man, a Jewish man, and an African-American woman helped to save the planet. I mean, along with everyone else, but your main co-stars was Vivica Fox, Jeff Goldblum, and Will Smith that really jumped out at people.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and that was, I auditioned 6 times to get that role.
Really?
At the time, yeah. I was on a soap opera,
Yeah.
Young and the Restless, and I remember hitting my agent because I was like, everyone's auditioning for it. And my agent told me, well, honey, you don't have a big enough name. You just on a little soap opera.
What?
And about 3 weeks later, she gave me a call. And she said, it's your turn. And what happened is that the producer, Bill Fay's wife, was at home pregnant. And she saw me on Young and the Restless watching soap operas. And she said, did you guys find the character Jasmine? She said, no, I saw the cutest girl on Young and the Restless. And they got me in, and I was young and fresh, and they auditioned me 6 times. I had to earn that part.
Yeah.
But it changed my life. It really did.
I'm so glad you got that part.
Me too.
Now, you mentioned soap operas. You got your start in soap, right?
Yes.
Yeah, tell us about that first soap opera.
The very first soap opera that I did was Days of Our Lives. I played a nurse by the name of April Sutton. Before that, I had modeled, and acting kind of fell in my lap. I was discovered by a gentleman by the name of Trevor Walton, who got me an agent and who got me auditions. And he told me to do him a favor and stop mentioning him so much because he was getting all kind of, you know, letters from young actresses.
Sure.
If you make Vivica Fox a star, you can definitely make me a star. And he's like, would you stop mentioning? But later, both of us ended up on the Lifetime Network. He was a producer over there, and then I had the show Missing over there. And now he's retired, and I think he's living in Hollywood. Sorry, Trevor, mentioning you again, telling your business, but I always love you. Thank you for discovering me, because before that, I just was interested in modeling. I had no idea. So acting kind of fell in my lap.
Now, I'm just thinking about what probably everyone's thinking about too. Empire is such a huge hit on television. On Empire, you play Cookie's bourgeois sister.
Candace.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, probably a lot of millennials don't even know what bougie means.
Oh, yes, they do. Bad and bougie, right. Bad, that's how they know it, right. They don't know bourgeois, but they know bad and bougie, right.
Now, tell us, how was that working with Taraji
Oh, my
P. Henson?
gosh. It is like a family reunion, to be very honest with you. I've known Lee Daniels, Terrence, Taraji, Jesse for the last 10, 15 years, but this is the first time that Taraji and I have shared the screen together. But Terrence and I, we did a film called The Salon years ago, and then Lee Daniels, I've known him, and I'll never forget Lee showing me a rough cut of Precious in Miami. Like, I'll never forget that. And then how I got Empire was that I was on Celebrity Apprentice, and I had that epic boardroom showdown, and he hit me the next day. He was like, girl, you got to be on Empire some way. So he kept his word, which doesn't happen a lot in that business. People are a lot of talk. And he called me and said, we found the role. Do you mind playing Cookie's older sister? I was like, of course, do I? So he teamed me, Tasha Smith, Taraji and I to play, you know, the sisters, and we've had a wonderful time. We film in Chicago, and I'm headed back to do some more episodes.
Oh, great, great. Now, you mentioned Celebrity Apprentice, and I remember the big cell phone scene.
Yes.
So
epic boardroom showdown, right? Epic.
But a lot of fun.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of fun.
Well, it wasn't for me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because
for the audience, it was.
The audience, I mean, it made great TV. Let's not get that wrong. But I'll be very honest with you. I've known Kenya for a long time as well, too. And I was just very surprised. And it's been difficult, to be very honest with you, for me to forgive her. And that's unfortunate, because I'm the kind of person that, like, I don't carry a grudge, but you have to own what you do or your mistakes. And I just really felt like, as far as what she went, you know, just keep it real with a sister and be like, girl, I was trying to get you out. You know what I mean? I'm going to just keep it real with you. But it's like, she wants to act like nothing happened. And it was, at the time, very surprising. And I would never do another black woman like that. It's just not how I play. I mean, if anything, it would have been beautiful to see the two black women survive and go to the end together. And then to win or lose, you know, legitimately, instead of doing something so desperate.
Right. Interesting.
But that's her character, not mine.
Okay, we'll leave that one there.
Yeah. That whole shade tree came over, didn't it?
I want to mention another movie, Set It Off.
Yes.
Which is a sort of ensemble, all-star cast, ensemble acting. But I remember you reading something that you felt like you were all sisters.
Oh,
but tell us about that.
Set It Off was amazing. We filmed that film over 9 weeks. And the last 6 weeks of it, I'll never forget, was at night. And so we were like vampires. We would come to work at 6 p.m. and get off at 6 a.m. And I remember I had to black out all the rooms in my house because I couldn't go to sleep. But working with F. Gary Gray, who was a young director at the time, who is now doing Fast and Furious 8, the Italian Job, big jobs, was so serious, so committed. He wanted us on time. He wanted the movie to make sense, because he said, I don't want people to come to this movie and laugh at 4 girls trying to rob a bank. We have to explain the connections on why you guys back get pushed against the wall, that this is your last resort, that you go and you rob a bank.
Right.
And I think that he did a wonderful job at that. I mean, every day we were rewriting the script, and then when we worked together. I'll never forget, Latifah was doing Living Single and our show and cutting an album.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's where Jada and Will kind of fell in love with each other.
Was that where it happened?
Yeah, that's when they kind of fell in love. It was wonderful to see that. And I actually got coached by Will Smith while we were shooting Independence Day.
What?
He coached me because F. Gary Gray made me audition for TT and for Frankie, because at the time, Rosie Perez was Frankie, but she was undecided. And I did TT, and he was like, yeah, that was good. And I did Frankie. He was like, yup, like that's it. And he gave me a call afterwards. He didn't make me audition again and said, if she falls out, it's your part. But other than that, if not, you'll be TT. But I was going to definitely be in the film. And that's another film, like you said, that has become a cult classic.
Classic, yes.
You know, a new generation has been introduced to that. And I've been so blessed to work with some of the most amazing actors that I've made these hits like Soul Food, Two Can Play That Game, Set It Off, Independence Day, that I had like back to back to back to back hits as a young actress. And so it's lovely now that 20 years later, I'm getting that appreciation and finally kind of getting like a resurgence in my career that has been wonderful to experience.
And one thing you didn't mention, Kill Bill.
Oh, yeah.
And I know you kicked some, you know what?
Some serious booty.
But I heard you did all your own stunts.
Yes, 95% of it. I did everything.
Did you have any prior training in that, or?
No, I mean, I was an athlete growing up. I played basketball, volleyball, track, and I was a cheerleader. So I've always been an athlete and type A type of personality.
You
that was
type A?
Yeah, a little bit. But that was 6 months of training. So it made me very proud to when I saw it pieced together. I'll never forget being at the premiere in New York and going, wow, that's pretty amazing. But the only thing I didn't do was fall into the table that was glass.
Right.
And I wanted to.
Yeah.
My poor stunt double, I'll never forget her, Angela. She was like, are you gonna let me do anything?
Leave some work
Are you
for me.
can I do anything? And she fell into the table and she got 4 stitches. So I was kind of glad I didn't do that. It wasn't bad, but she got 4 stitches. But I just felt like there's nothing worse when you go to an action film and you see the stuntman or the stunt woman.
And you see that they don't really look like the star.
Yeah, exactly.
That
so
bothers me too.
I was like, I didn't train for 6 months for you to just come in here and do my job. And that then led to so many other jobs.
Yeah.
It led to Missing, where I played a detective, and then getting the co-producing title, because at that point, you know, in my career, it showed, you know, that I had kind of reached that status that was a new chapter, that not only could I star in projects, but that I could co-produce them as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, have you done stunt work in any other films since then?
I haven't done it. I would love to work with Tarantino again.
Yeah.
That's on my wish list, like what he did with Pam Grier for Jackie Brown. I'd love to do
Fantastic
a
movie,
little bit more action, but for a while there when I did Missing, which I played a detective, see, I was kicking people butt every day and shooting guns and jumping over cars and doing all kind of stuff. But I've always been kind of like a physical babe, but I'd like to do another one for sure.
Well, what are some of those roles that you see now or that you miss by that much that you'd really like to do?
Let's see. I remember that I came down to the finals for X-Men. So whenever I see that franchise, it kind of came down to me and Halle Berry. But Halle did a wonderful job. I would love to be one of the Marvel. One of the, you know, I love watching those with Thor and Robert Downey Jr. Was it like, what, Robo Man or something
Iron
like
Man.
that? Iron Man.
Yeah,
Thank you, Iron Man. I love that whole, and oh my God, and Homeboy with the things that come out, Wolverine.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to be a part of that franchise. That would be awesome.
So you can already kick butt.
Yeah.
You kick Alien butt.
Yeah.
Kick,
Yes, exactly.
Kill Bill butt. So you can do it.
I love the whole training and the focus that it takes when you do an action film, but I'd like to do a Marvel film for sure.
Sure.
Yes.
Now, you've had longevity and you've had a string of hits. What kind of advice would you give to young people, young actors just starting out in the business?
I get that a lot because I do a lot of motivational speaking at women's conferences, and I always tell them to be a triple threat, to be able to sing, act, and dance, because nowadays you see everything is almost a musical. You know, when they want to do a movie, then somewhere in there somebody breaks out in a dance and a song. And that you never know what's going to be required of the role. So if they say, can you sing? Yes. Can you dance? Yes. Can you act? Yes. That you don't limit yourself. But also take acting lessons to make sure that you understand the difference between comedy and drama, between stage and between movies, because there is a huge difference.
Yeah. That difference I always read was in TV, and especially in soaps, it's the dramatic long looks and the hair tossing. There you go. There you go.
And then you got to give them a little bit of tears. You know, you got to emote and all that good stuff. And then sing. It's definitely different. And I started off in soap, so for me,
Right.
it was excellent training for me. I played on Generations Maya Rubens, and she was a dancer.
Yes.
Who was a Runaways with Richard Roundtree, who played my dad again. So yeah.
Yeah, and in film, it's sort of more, because there's so many close-ups, that it's more subtle differences.
Yes,
acting.
completely.
Yeah.
That's a difference
Right.
between soaps, and then soaps and stage is a lot more dramatic.
Right.
And then movies, it's a lot more isolated, because the camera, they do wide shot, medium shot, close up.
Right.
Yes.
All right.
So it's a different genre.
So you're great in all of them.
Oh, I thank you.
But also let's talk about a book.
Okay.
So stage and film and producing and
And
all that
now
stuff
I'm
wasn't enough for you. So now
I'm an author.
you're an author.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
I have a new book coming out May 2018 with St. Martin Press called Every Day I'm Hustling. And it's basically a motivational memoir where I just talk to men, women, different nationalities, to let them know how to gracefully go into each chapter of life, into new careers, to expand your horizons, that you're gonna have, some trials and tribulations. You're gonna fall, but the best thing that you can do for yourself is to believe in yourself and to get back up.
Wow.
Yeah, to get back up.
Yeah.
Never let them count you out.
Yeah.
It may be tough, but nothing worth having is easy.
Woo.
Yeah.
You're inspiring me.
Thank you very much. I mean, because you have to realize that I'm in a business where normally at 35 years old, they put you out to pasture. You're done, you've had your moment, and you have to learn to brand, you have to learn to produce, you have to learn to act. If you love being in show business, you've got to create those new chapters for yourself. No one's going to do it for you.
Yeah.
I learned that by watching a lot of people get chewed up and spit out, and I promised myself that that was not going to happen to me.
Well, you're here now in Washington, D.C. I don't know how often you get here.
Oh, all the
but
time. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Especially when I was campaigning for Barack, Hillary. Yes, I'm very much into politics. I love Washington, D.C.
What are some of the places people might run into you? Some of your favorite spots in Washington, whether it's dancing, eating, having a great time. What do you like in D.C.?
Tomorrow I'm thrilled that I'm going to go to the African American Museum.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, and then I like to look at a lot of the monuments, and there's a lot of history here that I don't get on the West Coast living in California. So as far as eating, I'd like to go to places. I don't know restaurants in particular. I just, when I get here, I know I'm going to the Blue Duck Tavern if they let me squeeze in there.
That's an award-winning restaurant.
I heard that. That's a lovely one too. I love shopping here. Shopping's great. But mainly like the monuments, and then I've been to the White House several times.
Wow.
Yeah. So especially when Barack won, how much I campaigned for them. We always were at events and stuff there.
Yeah.
So.
And he had a lot of parties.
He did.
Big
the
parties.
best
Like,
parties. Oh my gosh. We miss him so much, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's changed. But that's okay.
Yeah.
We shall survive. United we stand, divided we fall.
Yeah.
I believe.
Well, before we wrap this up, give a big, great kiss to D.C., to Washingtonians. What can you tell them about you and about how much you love them in the city?
Hey, Washington, D.C., it's your girl, Vivica Fox. You all have supported my career for such an amazing long time, whether I do television, film, whether I bring y'all good hair, whatever it is, you guys always support me. And I just want to let you guys know from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate your love and support, and I promise you I will keep bringing those quality projects for you to enjoy and for you girls to keep swinging that hair. Get it? I love you. I love you. Please come check out Two Can Play That Game, the stage play, this weekend at the Warner Theater.
Now, the mayor of this city, Mayor Muriel Bowser, is a big promoter of the arts. If you could say something to her directly, what would you say to Mayor Bowser?
Mayor Bowser, hey, what's up? It's your girl, Vivica Fox. Girl, first of all, congratulations, okay? Girl power, yes, yes. If you're around this weekend, I would love for you to be my guest for Two Can Play That Game, the stage play. I'm gonna get you good seats too, okay? So come on out. Congratulations, God bless you.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, no doubt. Good to see you.